Bow and Elbow Rivers has become a much more widespread mandatory notice to leave. More than 24 communities are affected by this. Here's the full list of them. They are close to the Bow and the Elbow River. These are either full or partial evacuation notices. More than 100,000 people are under that notice to leave their homes. Many, of course, are staying with their friends and family. Others are staying at the evacuation centers set up around the city. There are also nearly 500 people from seniors' homes in the Hillhurst Sunnyside area. They were evacuated to the hockey rinks at Canada Olympic Park. Now, many of them are frail, so they're trying to be made as comfortable as possible. Also, the drop-in center downtown.
The Calgary evacuations. Doing a lot of work on the Twitter.
And through social media.
The YWCA there.
Reports that we've given to media.
I said thank you for some of the retweets.
Car after car after truck.
And the news is going out of my station as well as theirs.
I can't say enough to the people of Calgary. And through social media.
You can hear that as the second double there.
Reports that we've given to media.
Thank you for speaking with us on such an important evening. How would you gauge the response to the floods so far?
Well, you know what, Ian? I've seen a lot of things in the last 36 hours or so.
Had Calgary news going out for the last few hours now. It's now 20 past 2 in the morning here in the UK. I'm still watching what's going on.
I've been in a helicopter with the Prime Minister and the Premier. You know what else I've seen? I've seen police officers in the 20th hour of their shift treating citizens with such compassion and such professionalism. I've seen guys who call themselves laborers in the 18th hour of hand-pumping water off the floor of the water treatment plant so that it doesn't contaminate our drinking water. I've seen the very best of this community. Citizens who've taken in friends and family. You know what? The worst may yet be to come, but we're going to get through this one together.
All right, now in terms of the level of the Bow and Elbow Rivers, what do you know about they're reaching their peak? Have we actually pressed it yet?
We know that the Elbow River has reached its peak. However, we haven't seen a decline in the flow of the Elbow River from about 680 cubic meters per second in almost 10 or 12 hours. You'd expect once it peaks, it declines. It is not declining, except very, very, very slowly. What you see on the Bow River here behind me is about 1,750 cubic meters per second. That's 3 or 4 times what we saw in 2005. And that is absolutely what we had anticipated to be the maximum. So there's one of two things that will happen to the Bow River. It'll stay like this for a very long period of time, many, many hours to go. Or, if the dams upstream, particularly near Lake Minnewanka, fail, we'll see a lot more water very quickly with very little warning. So we'll either have this level of water for a long period of time, or we'll have a big surge for a shorter period of time. We're ready for both.
Mayor Nenshi, I know it's still early. We're dealing with the most serious situations right now, but looking long term, do you have any idea of how widespread the devastation is, and is there a dollar figure attached to it?
So the first thing I have to say is I've got only one priority, and my priority is everyone's safety. We've been very, very blessed that there haven't been any injuries yet in Calgary, and I hope that there will not be any injuries. We can't say the same about our neighbors in High River, and I know that our hearts go out to them. So that's number one. This is about people's safety. We will have a lot of property damage, and it will take a long time to get through. And I have to tell you right now that there are 3 things that are important. Number one is how people can stay safe. And despite all these great citizens around me who want to see what's going on in the city of Calgary, the best thing you can do is stay home. The best thing you can do is not stress the infrastructure or put yourself potentially in danger.
I mean, there's still even more work that I haven't scrolled through. There's been a lot of work and a lot of stuff done on the Twitter. A lot of support given.
We have to be incredibly careful to make sure the transformers don't blow. If you're at home in a non-evacuation area and you have power, take precautions to make sure that if there is a power outage, you're ready. Stock up on flashlights and batteries, know where the candles and matches are, charge your cell phone just in case you have to deal with an outage. Finally, I want to talk about water. We're working very hard to ensure that safe, clean water is available to every one of us. There's no boil water advisory. There's no need to stock up on bottled water. But please be judicious in your water use. We got a lot of silt and a lot of sediment that has to work its way through the system. So the next couple days, Not a good time to do your laundry, not a good time to run the dishwasher. Be judicious as best you can, and we'll make sure everyone's still got clean water.
Now, Mayor Nenshi, do you have a ballpark idea on how long people will be out of their homes? And of course, there are thousands out of their homes right now.
I know this is painful. I know if you've been evacuated, you want to know what's going on with your house, and you want to get back there as soon as you possibly can. But trust us, we've got eyes on the street in every one of those neighborhoods. We're watching the electricity situation, we're watching the gas situation. The minute it is safe to return home, we will tell you that it is safe to return home. But wait until it's safe, and that could be days. But we're going to make sure, first of all, that everyone is safe.
Have we heard anything about looting? There is some talk circulating on Twitter, I know you're on Twitter, of some isolated looting in some neighborhoods in Calgary. Can you give us any insight on that?
I haven't heard really anything about that. I know that Calgarians are coming together as community here, but I also know that every one of those neighborhoods that has been evacuated has Calgary Police Service on the ground, making sure that that kind of behavior doesn't happen. That's unacceptable to all of us.
All right, now you took the helicopter trip with the Prime Minister and the Premier over the flooded areas in and around Calgary. Can you let us be privy a bit to some of the conversations you had with the Prime Minister and the Premier about some relief they might offer us?
You know, we are really lucky that we have a great leader in Alberta and a great leader in Canada. But not only are they great leaders, they are Calgarians. And they are both here because they love their city. And I think that's a remarkable thing. And we talked a lot about that. There'll be a lot of time for conversations in the upcoming days about financial settlements, about how we're going to pay for all of this. And certainly both the province and the federal government indicated their willingness to partner on that. I'm not that concerned about that today. I'm concerned about keeping people safe today. But I know that both the Prime Minister and the Premier offered everything they've got to help the people of Calgary.
I'm sure you're looking forward to your typical spot in the Stampede Parade. Obviously, the Stampede has some very serious issues it has to address in the next couple of weeks. Have you talked with them about pulling things off on time?
You know, we've started those conversations. The Stampede Parade is 2 weeks today, and I hope to be with Commander Hatfield riding my horse at the beginning of that parade. And you know what? It might look a little different than it's looked in the past, but we're Calgarians. We'll figure out how to make it work.
All right, Mayor Nenshi, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you all, and thank you to all my citizens for showing the world the spirit of this great city.
We know you have a lot of work to do. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Lots of good information there. All right, the other very difficult place right now where this flooding is unfolding is in High River tonight. We've already heard that there have been at least 2 fatalities along the Highwood River. Our Bill Marks is standing by live. Bill, it looks so quiet behind you, and I know that's because the entire town is evacuated. What is the situation where you are right now?
Quiet. You hit the nail on the head there, Jocelyn. It's very, very quiet right now. All day long, this was a beehive of activity. Boats rescuing people, boats zipping up and down this road, which is now a river, bringing people to safety. You had the boats, you had emergency personnel everywhere. You even had heavy equipment and farm equipment bringing people to safety. In the other parts of town, it's the same thing. People are kind of wandering around that are still in town looking at the devastation the floodwaters have brought. We were one of the first crews into the
20 past 7 in the evening there. It's 2:30 in the morning here in the UK.
And it is just a sight of complete ruin. You've got railway tracks that are bent and washed right out. You've got fences gone, cars overturned. You can't believe the devastation that we were witnessing and how quickly it happened. That's the surprising thing, how fast the water rose and started coming up. In the southeast part of High River, people that have lived here for 50, 60 years say they've never seen water in this part of town. And there have been some horrific floods here in past years. They say this is the first time this has ever happened. Now, as you mentioned, a lot of the people are gone now. There is a mandatory evacuation order in effect, a state of emergency, so people are going. There's still some people here, but most of them are abiding by that, and emergency crews, RCMP and that are patrolling neighborhoods now, keeping an eye out for anything suspicious, Jocelyn.
Well, and that will be the interesting part of this evening as it unfolds, Bill, and I know it's very quiet in the town, but it will get dark, and all those residents have left, so we'll be keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, that's obviously an issue, a concern for a lot of people in the flood zone. Please stay with us. We're going to take a bit of a break. As we go to that break, take a look at this shot. This is the new bridge that crews are building across the Bow River from St. Patrick's Island they were going to finish it fairly soon, sometime later this year, and it appears to be seriously damaged.
We're back in a moment.